inside world's toughest prison, Kwang Central Prison, Thailand. Have you ever wondered what it's like to be inside one of the world's toughest prisons? Today, we're going to take a closer look at the infamous Kwang Central Prison in Thailand. But be warned, this isn't a story for the faint of heart. In Thailand, they take their war on drugs seriously with harsh penalties for drug offenses and a zero-tolerance policy. So, it's no surprise that the prisons are some of the most brutal and appalling in the world. Australians in particular seem to have a knack for getting caught and ending up behind bars in Thailand. But what is life like inside these prisons? Join me as we delve into the dark and dangerous world of Kwang Central Prison. As we enter the notorious Bangkok Hilton Women's Prison, the sheer number of women detained here is mind-boggling. The majority of the nearly 6,000 women who are being held in this cramped jail are addicts who have thrown away their lives for narcotics. The typical term for drug charges is 25 years or more, and it is anticipated that a large number of female inmates will expire while serving their time. During the day, the facility functions as a sweatshop, and the inmates keep themselves occupied by acquiring skills that they will probably never use in the outside world. But at night, they are crowded into cells like sardines and forced to endure conditions that are beyond comprehension. It is difficult to comprehend how anyone could live in this environment for any length of time, let alone endure living here for 25, 30, or even 50 years. Unfortunately, the jail officer, Pastorborn, restricted our movement throughout the facility and made sure that we only observed the things that the authorities wanted us to see. We were not permitted access to any of the foreign prisoners or any of the areas of the facility that were restricted, which included 3 Australian women. But the reason they are here is not a mystery at all. Because of Thailand's zero-tolerance stance regarding illegal narcotics, those who are discovered in possession of them face severe punishments and lengthy sentences. It is very evident to us that the Bangkok Hilton Women's Prison is not a pleasant place to be, given both the deplorable living circumstances and the overwhelming number of detainees. It serves as a striking reminder of the brutal realities that inmates must face daily at Thailand's most severe jails. Now that we've covered the women's facility at the Bangkok Hilton, let's move on to the men's facility at Kwang Central Prison. This jail is so notorious that its nickname is Big Tiger, and it has a reputation for being one of the harshest and most dangerous in Thailand. It is extremely overcrowded, and only a small number of the 6,000 detainees are being shown to our cameras at any given time. The majority of detainees in Bangkok are there for drug-related offenses, including Australians Bobby Hallowell and Robert Foley. This is similar to the situation in the women's jail. Both of the men were willing to discuss life in Bangkok with us, but the Thai officials requested that we video them from behind during our conversation. As we listen to their accounts, we gain a better understanding of the arduous conditions that inmates must endure daily in this infamous jail. Inmates have described how the terrible conditions and overcrowding kill the soul and transform them into hardened individuals. They discuss how to keep one's sanity in an environment where many people have degenerated into zombie-like states. It's difficult to fathom how someone can live, much less flourish, in such an atmosphere. But for other people, this is their reality. They are serving a life sentence in a facility with conditions so brutal that even the guards put convicts in leg irons for the first 3 months of their incarceration. This is not done to prevent the prisoners from escaping. Rather, it is done to prevent the prisoners from taking their own lives. It is quite evident that living at Kwang Central Prison is not an environment for those who are easily discouraged. The stories that are told to us and the conditions that we see serve as a sharp reminder of the unforgiving nature of life in Thailand's most severe prisons. The continuing drug war in Thailand has had a direct impact on the country's reputation for having harsh jails. Over 72,000 people have been taken into custody for drug-related offenses in only the past year, and over 2,500 people who are suspected of dealing drugs or trafficking drugs have been gunned down on the streets. Despite these measures, narcotics are still being brought into the country, and those responsible for drug violations are nonetheless subject to harsh penalties. The Golden Triangle, which is comprised of the countries Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand, is one of the most prolific areas for the cultivation of opium and heroin in the world. There is also a significant problem with amphetamines, with over 700 million tablets being brought in illegally through the Myanmar border every year. The fight against drugs in Thailand is being spearheaded by General Wartrapol, the country's Commissioner of Narcotics. In his most recent win, he was able to seize thousands of kilograms of drugs, including 15 kilograms of high-grade heroin and 280,000 amphetamine tablets. The truth of the matter is, however, that illegal substances are still being brought into the country, and the war on drugs is by no means won. The war on drugs has had a significant influence on Thailand as a result of the severity of the punishments and the terrible circumstances that are present in the jails that are considered to be the hardest in the country. A stark reminder of the brutal realities of drugs and the harsh reality of life in a society where zero tolerance means just that. It is a brutal reality of life in a country where zero tolerance means exactly that. In Thailand, the use of the death penalty is still permitted under certain circumstances, and the procedure takes place in the notorious execution chamber located within Kwang Central Prison. Lethal injection, a practice that was established in 2003 as a more merciful alternative to the traditional method of execution, which was the use of a firing squad, is how those who have been sentenced to death end their lives. The grisly sight of the execution chamber is a sobering reminder of the repressive nature of Thailand's legal system. Inmates who have been given the death sentence spend their final days languishing in their cells and pondering their impending execution. The process of appealing a decision might take many years, which can be a very long wait for some people. The conditions of life in Kwang Central Prison are not any less severe for inmates who have not been sentenced to death. Even the most resilient individual might have their mind and spirit weighed down by the oppressive conditions, the cruelty, and the hopelessness of the situation. As we've seen, a lot of people in jail turn to drugs as a way to deal with the harsh reality of their situation, which only contributes to the vicious circle of hopelessness. The possibility of being sentenced to death is terrifying, but it serves as a sobering reminder of the grave repercussions that can result from drug-related charges in Thailand. Thailand continues to use the death penalty as a form of punishment, albeit on a limited basis, even though many other countries have done away with the practice of capital punishment. Although there is an ongoing debate on the morality and efficacy of the death penalty, the fact of the matter is that some of the people being held at Kwang Central Prison faced the very real prospect of being executed. The harsh reality of life behind bars for people convicted of drug offenses was brought home to us during our visit to the world's hardest prison, the Kwang Central Prison in Thailand. Even for the most resilient of people, the overcrowding, cruelty, and despair of the situation can be an overpowering experience. We've seen the tragic results of drug addiction and the ravaging toll it takes on loved ones and families. It's awful. It is common knowledge that Thailand takes a zero-tolerance approach to drug offenses, and the country's laws and punishments reflect this policy. The war on drugs has resulted in the loss of countless lives, and the judicial system has left many prisoners with the sense that their life has no purpose and that they have been forgotten. As we've seen, Thailand is one of the only few countries in the world that still retains the legal right to carry out the death penalty, and the prison in Kwang is where the sentence is carried out. Even though questions regarding the morality and efficiency of the death penalty continue to be debated, the fact that it is still used in Thailand serves as a clear reminder of the serious nature of the country's drug laws. The experiences of people who are now serving time at Kwang Central Prison can ultimately serve as a cautionary tale for those who are contemplating the possibility of engaging in illegal drug trafficking in Thailand. The repercussions are devastating, and the price that must be paid is substantial. It serves as a reminder that there is a human cost associated with every drug offense, and the people who suffer the most are frequently the offender's family members and other loved ones. Thank you for joining me on this journey to explore one of the toughest prisons in the world. If you found this video informative and eye-opening, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And as always, stay safe and thank you for watching.